Before you scroll, this prayer is for the person who feels tired, worried, and unsure what to do next. If you've been praying for breakthrough in the new year, but something feels missing, if you've been making declarations but nothing seems to shift, if you're wondering why your prayers don't have the power they should, stop right here. There's a mistake most believers make when praying for the new year, and it's costing them their miracles. They pray for blessings but forget to surrender their will. They ask for open doors but hold on to control. They want God's favor but refuse to submit their plans. James 4 verse 3 says, "Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that you may consume it upon your lusts." This prayer will teach you how to pray correctly and release the fullness of God's power over your new year. Beloved, hear this truth that will transform your prayer life. The biggest mistake people make when praying for the new year is praying with a closed fist instead of an open hand. They tell God what they want instead of asking God what he wants. They come with demands instead of surrender. They present their plans and ask God to bless them instead of asking God for his plans. Proverbs 19 verse 21 says, "There are many devices in a man's heart, nevertheless the counsel of the Lord that shall stand." Your plans might look good, but only God's counsel will stand. Think about the prayer of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane in Matthew 26. He was facing the cross. He was about to carry the weight of the world's sin. And he prayed, "O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me." That was his human desire. That was what he wanted. But then he said the most powerful words in prayer, "Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt." That word, nevertheless, changed everything. It moved his prayer from request to surrender. It shifted his posture from telling to trusting. Most people pray for the new year saying, "God, I want this job. God, I want this relationship. God, I want this amount of money. God, I want this breakthrough." But they never stop to ask, "God, what do you want from me? What is your will? What is your plan?" And when their prayers aren't answered the way they expected, they get frustrated. They feel like God isn't listening. But the truth is, God is protecting them from prayers that will harm them and preparing them for blessings they haven't even imagined. Right now, change your approach. Stop praying with demands and start praying with surrender. Father, I come before you not to tell you what I want, but to ask you what you want from me. Psalm 37 verse 4 says, "Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of thine heart." When I delight in you first, you plant the right desires in my heart. When I surrender to your will, you align my wants with your plans. I decree and declare I release control of the new year. I let go of my timeline. I surrender my expectations. I lay down my agenda. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 instructs, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not on thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." I trust you with every detail of my future. I acknowledge you as Lord over my career, my finances, my relationships, my health, my family. Direct my path according to your perfect will. For everyone reading this who has been frustrated with unanswered prayers, check your posture. Are you praying with an open hand or a closed fist? Are you surrendering or demanding? Are you trusting God's wisdom or insisting on your own way? Isaiah 55 verses 8 to 9 declares, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." God's ways are higher. His plans are better. His timing is perfect. Declare after me, "I surrender my plans to God. I release my timeline to his wisdom. I let go of what I think should happen and embrace what he knows must happen. I pray not my will, but thy will be done. I trust that closed doors are divine protection. I believe that delays are divine preparation. I know that redirections are divine corrections, leading me to greater blessings." If you've been praying wrong and you're ready to surrender, type "Thy will be done" in the comments. Share this message with someone who needs to hear this truth. Your obedience unlocks answered prayers. Beloved, the second part of this mistake is praying without faith. People pray for the new year, but don't really believe God will answer. They speak words but doubt in their hearts. They make declarations but live in fear. They ask for miracles but expect nothing to change. And James 1 verses 6 to 7 says, "But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord." Doubt cancels prayers. Wavering blocks miracles. You must pray with absolute confidence that God hears you and will answer according to his perfect will. Remember the story of Hannah in 1 Samuel 1. She was barren and desperate for a child. Year after year, she went to the temple and prayed. But one year, something changed. 1 Samuel 1 verse 18 says, "And she went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad." She prayed. She surrendered her desire to God, and then she believed he heard her. Before she saw the answer, she stopped being sad. Before she held her son Samuel, she had faith. That's the prayer that moves heaven. Now pray with the same faith. Father, I pray for the new year not with doubt, but with faith. Mark 11 verse 24 says, "Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." I believe you hear me. I believe you are working on my behalf. I believe your plans for me are good. I speak over your career in the new year. Stop praying, "God, I hope I get a job." Instead, pray, "Father, reveal the assignment you have for me. Open the doors you want me to walk through. Close the ones that will distract me from my purpose." Surrender your career to his will and trust that he knows better than any resume or interview what you're called to do. I speak over your relationships in the new year. Stop praying, "God, give me a husband," or "God, give me a wife." Instead, pray, "Father, prepare me to be the spouse you've called me to be." If marriage is your will, send the person you've chosen. If singleness is your season, give me peace and purpose in it. Surrender your relationships and trust that God's timing is perfect. 1 Corinthians 7 verse 7 says every person has their proper gift from God. I speak over your finances in the new year. Stop praying, "God, make me rich." Instead, pray, "Father, teach me to be a good steward. Open streams of income that align with your purpose for my life. Give me wisdom to manage what you provide." Matthew 6 verse 33 promises, "But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." When you seek him first, provision follows. I speak over your health in the new year. Stop praying with fear about what might happen. Instead, pray, "Father, I trust you with my body." 3 John 1 verse 2 says you wish above all things that I prosper and be in health. I receive that promise. I believe I am healed and whole. Pray with faith, not fear. Now comes the most important part. You must combine surrender with faith. Surrender says, "God, I trust your will." Faith says, "God, I believe you will answer." Together they create unstoppable prayers. Hebrews 11 verse 6 says, "But without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." God rewards those who seek him with faith and surrender. Lift your hands in worship right now. Thank God because he hears your prayers. Thank him because his will is better than your wishes. Thank him because what is planned for your new year is greater than anything you could ask or imagine. Ephesians 3 verse 20 declares he is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Before you leave, do 3 things. First, type, "Not my will but yours" in the comments. Make that your prayer for the new year. Second, share this message with someone who needs to learn how to pray correctly. Your obedience will help them unlock breakthroughs. Third, subscribe to this channel so you never miss teachings that will transform your prayer life. Remember, when you pray with surrender and faith, heaven moves. Your new year will be different because your prayers are different. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.